Yeah, this is a podcast of Nathan, Nat and Sean.
Let's go.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Sean did the show from Melbourne this morning, so...
No, he's gone off to go to Chapel Street to buy some clothes, to buy some collars.
No, to buy a jumper because it's
Black
cold
collared
over
shirts.
there.
But today we talked about the strange, unusual things that people decide they want to travel with.
Yeah, that was good. We talk about when you were the only person left out of something, and these calls are amazing.
Yeah, Melbourne
amazing.
Cup champion Michelle Payne talks to us.
Our old mate, and now the Netherlands cricket coach, at least for a few more days, Ryan Campbell joined us here in the studio.
And we'll find out if it's beneficial to be a WA politician with the gifts that you receive.
This is Nathan, Nat and Sean.
Speaking around here, because Sean's like coming to us from another world.
Yes, so Sean's chair is empty, but
Empty.
yet we can still hear his voice.
Nathan, Nat, or Harry behind the desk, come in.
See?
There he is.
Terrifying.
It's terrifying for me. I'm in another studio by myself. This is horrendous.
So where are you? Tell everybody where you are and why.
I'm over in Melbourne at the moment, going to the Melbourne Cup tomorrow, so I'll be reporting live from the Melbourne Cup. Well, that's my excuse anyway.
Sean, you're not going to the Melbourne Cup. You're going to the coldest Melbourne Cup in 25 years.
I know. I'm going to freeze me box off.
Yes, you
my
are.
missus has made... She bought me a suit which is completely summer. It's a summer-spring suit.
So you're going to
I'm
run
gonna
off
be
to Anaconda
freezing.
to get some thermies?
Absolutely. Maybe I'll get Brian to post something over to me very quickly for tomorrow. He
Some
always
very
saves my
warm
bacon.
trousers. Yeah, you're in massive trouble.
What I can say is that I've been able to zing around in Melbourne today in particular. No one's at work over here.
No.
And their public holiday's actually tomorrow.
That's right.
And we get none of that.
Well, it's the great Australian way is that when a public holiday falls on a day, a day past the weekend, everybody takes that in-between day off, guaranteed.
But think about what they get. They get that.
Yep.
They get the AFL Grand
AFL
Final.
Grand Final.
Yeah.
And then they get the day off before that and possibly the day off after those.
100%. And
We
let me
get
add in this.
stitched
So
up.
to everybody out there, our boss, he runs the Melbourne
Yes.
Nova as well. And he has allowed their breakfast show to have today off.
What?
How interesting.
The
Today
day before
off.
Melbourne Cup.
Yes, and tomorrow, obviously being the public holiday
Yes.
as well. When has that ever come across our
Never.
desk?
We've asked for it before, like when Australia Day fell on a Thursday, and we said, how's about we have that Friday off? And
Yep.
he has categorically said no.
Oh, you know what? It's very interesting having a spy in the camp, isn't it,
Yeah,
Sean?
isn't it
Yeah.
Sean, I'm going to send you over an outfit where you're going to dress as a fern and you're going to stay there for a week and see what else they
Report
get. Very interesting.
Can do, Nath,
And
can
their
do.
breakfast team's wrapping it up by the end of the
Yeah.
year too.
I mean, obviously that's why they've just given up. Is that what's happening?
Interesting.
I'm happy to give up right now. Not a problem.
Yeah.
Get the jump on summer and check out whatif.com for amazing getaways.
Aussies just know how to summer. It's in our DNA.
Bring it on! Book your accommodation, flights, car hire, and more, all on the What If app.
What if it's Aussie for travel?
Cannot believe this happened again. So, if we remember, just 8 months ago, 250 people
Yes.
won $63 million, a share of that in Kalgoorlie.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
it was amazing. Yeah.
So
We
the
spoke to one
lotto
of the
luck has
ladies.
been striking Kalgoorlie left,
And,
right,
well,
and
you would have
centre.
thought then the lotto luck in Kalgoorlie
Yeah.
has been wiped off.
Of course
the
it
planet.
would. Yeah. Can't
And
go
then
again.
we find out that Thursday's $160 million Powerball jackpot had 3 Division 1 winners, one including a group of 20 miners based in Kalgoorlie again.
By miners, we don't mean children. We
No.
mean people that work in the mining industry.
The group will take home $53 million, with each to pocket about $2.6 million.
I mean, it's a good day, isn't it? It's a great
How
day.
good is that?
I mean, that is brilliant.
Oh,
The
my
winning
God.
syndicate was made up of 20 night shift workers, all employed by a WA mining contractor. The amazing thing is, because it was a $100 buy-in,
Yep,
some
yep.
of the miners went home and said to their partners, I think a couple of them said, oh, by the way, do you want to get in on the action too? They said, no worries. So a couple of them are taking home
Oh, because the partners bought in too.
over
so they had,
$5 million.
$5
they had
million.
2 shares per couple.
2 shares
I
per
mean, amazing.
couple. Are you
Amazing.
kidding
That
me?
is brilliant.
So,
but that's a lot like
yeah.
a syndicate. When you think about people who are zinging around getting syndicates
Yeah.
at work, $20, $30 is
Yeah.
probably about the max. But that's that's
the
a good
$100
buy-in.
buy-in,
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the saddest part of the whole situation, though.
Oh,
The group's manager, Chris Wood, was not part
Yes.
of the winning group.
Oh,
He said he was shocked when he heard the news. He
I
said
bet he
they
was.
called me up last night to tell me they won the lotto and I did not believe them. He said he told them, it's impossible. I don't believe you. You were joking before they convinced him that it wasn't a prank. He said the workers were some of his best and he hoped they would stick with the job despite their new riches. He says, they're great workers. It's my best shift. They're all from here. I'm ecstatic. I'm very happy for each of them. I expect I might lose them though. I told them I will run after them and steal their ticket if they don't come back. I can guarantee you, brother.
I mean,
Some aren't coming back.
Some aren't coming
Some
back.
aren't coming
So
back.
some have
Coming
said,
back.
yeah, no, I'm not going to
Yep.
give up work, but there'll be some. That's good for now, but how long till you go? Oh no,
and
that's annoyed me. I'm out.
Also, you're the group's manager and you're not part of it. Oh, imagine something amazing happening and you're not part of it.
But there's
Well, I
nothing-
can, but
Yeah.
But was he offered to be a part of it, Nathan? He rejected it,
I
or
don't know, Sean. I
don't
don't
ask
know.
the boss
You
to be a
don't ask
part of
the
it.
boss.
You don't.
Okay, it's a good
You don't
point.
ask
It's a good
the
point.
boss.
You don't ask the boss, and that's, so be it. That serves him right for being the manager.
Oh, Chris Wood. And
Oh,
just,
that would be
just
heartbreaking.
Imagine trying to be happy for everyone.
And I mean, as the manager, realising that all of the people underneath you are now richer than you.
Oh, and now, I bet you any money they're all booking off left, right, and centre.
Yeah,
Now
of
you're
course.
the manager that doesn't have any lotto wins, and you're having to work out that roster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because all of your workers aren't coming to work because they're millionaires.
They're off on their holidays. Their $1 million
That's
holidays.
amazing. Oh, he'd be so flat.
Oh,
He would have revisited this moment,
Yes.
since finding out, over and over again. And he's the only one not a part of it.
Oh, well.
The Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
We're talking about when you might have been left out of something awesome, like the manager left out of the lotto syndicate that won.
Everybody, think
In
about
Kalgoorlie.
him. Chris Wood. Chris
I love
Wood,
that we know
The
his
manager,
name
Chris.
and everything.
group manager.
He's forever the guy that was left out of the lotto syndicate.
Everybody that works under Chris Wood from the night shift is a millionaire now.
No.
And Chris isn't.
2.7.
No.
Tash is in Bassendean. Hi, Tash.
Hi guys, how
Hi,
you going?
Tash. Good. We're
Great,
talking
Good, Tash.
about being left out of something awesome.
This is going back quite a few years ago, but I handed in my notice about a month before Christmas,
Yeah.
and my boss decided that since I'd already handed in my notice, I didn't get to go to the office Christmas party, and I had to stay home. And
So you're
Sorry,
still
say it again.
working there at this time, though, Tash, but because you've given notice, you can't go.
yeah,
That's it.
Was it a good one, Tash? What did they get up to?
yeah, I had organised it for them.
No.
You organised the
You organised the party that then turned out to be for everybody but you.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Tash. Well, it's stitched up.
Oh, Tash. That's really funny.
That is really funny.
I would have cancelled things right at the
Yeah,
last
that's
minute.
right. That's
and-
right. No more catering.
Oh.
Oh, Tash, that's amazing. Thank you. Erin's in Mundajong. Hello.
Hello, how are you guys?
Oh,
Good,
Erin. Was
Good,
there
Erin.
something awesome that you got left out of?
Yeah, a couple of years ago, my grandparents took my mum and dad on a trip to London, but all expenses paid, and they took my brother, but I wasn't allowed to go, so I had to stay home by myself.
Why weren't you
Why?
allowed to go?
I'm not entirely sure because my grandparents were paying, so they were kind of just like, we can bring one grandchild.
And then they looked around and went, oh, not you, Erin. Definitely not you.
We're not going to waste this trip on her.
I just stayed at home by myself, and it was on my birthday as well while they were away.
Oh, Aaron, Aaron, how old were you and how old were your brother? Did they take him because he was so young, or?
No, he was like 18 and I was 20, I think.
And then they left you at home on your 20th birthday.
Yeah, well, they needed someone to look after the house.
Exactly. And while they were away, I ended up getting pneumonia and I was in hospital by myself, really sick.
Oh, my God. Aaron. It's getting worse.
That's the killer punch, isn't it?
It's like I was just trying to steal their attention back because I was at home by myself.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, look at her. She's trying to, yeah.
Can I just
Attention
say,
grab.
I didn't know these stories are going to be so multi-layered.
Nathan, Nat and Sean.
We're discussing when you were left out of something absolutely awesome.
It's called pulling a Chris Wood.
Yeah. Who's Chris Wood, I hear you ask?
Chris Wood is the manager of the 20 night shift workers, all employed by a WA mining contractor that won the lotto in Kalgoorlie. They split up $53 million each to
Oh,
pocket
my God.
$2.6 million each.
But what happened to Chris?
Chris wasn't part of it.
You left out of something awesome. Jess is in Duncraig. Good morning, Jess.
Morning, how are you?
Good,
Jess.
Good, Jess.
What happened?
That's good. So, a few years ago, I was working as a junior in a transport company, and they asked me to get a list of employees and to give everyone a Christmas ham as their bonus.
Yes.
But because I hadn't been there long enough, you had to have been there 3 to 6 months, I didn't get a Christmas ham.
So you organised hams for everybody and you didn't get a ham for yourself.
Yeah. So they made me walk around and give everyone a ham at their desk.
Like some sort of little
But
ham
I didn't
elf.
get to take one home. Yeah.
Oh, that's really unfair, Jess.
You're just praying for
It
a
was very
vegetarian at
sad.
that moment, aren't you?
What were the size of the hams? We just would like to know for
It
our own
was one of
information.
those, the full leg, like
great big
gourmet
deal,
ham
yeah.
from like the
Interesting.
best butcher. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a really nice ham. But
It is
didn't get to
interesting.
taste
Yep.
it.
Sean?
Bit better than ours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had one that was the size of a mouse pad.
It was
given to us for
tiny.
Christmas one year.
They're like, come in and collect your ham. So we had to take time out of our holidays to come in and collect the ham. And when we saw it, went, I promised my mum a leg of ham, and I am not going to be delivering a leg of ham.
Can I say tomorrow we should do the topic of the thing you'll never let go of? and this is
We've
how.
got so many though. It's not just
Yes, we should do that tomorrow. All right.
That's
Thanks
great.
for bringing
I love
up
it.
the
I
ham,
love it.
Jess. Now we're bitter all over again. Annie's in Como. Hello.
Hello, good morning. How are you?
Oh, good
Morning, Annie.
Were you left out of something awesome?
I was. My parents decided that I'm an identical twin, and they wanted one of us to go to university. So we both had to, whoever got the highest A-level grade had to go to uni. And unfortunately, that was me. So whilst they paid for me to go to uni, they paid for my identical twin sister to travel around the world. I know.
Annie, that's a stitch up.
Annie, I mean, sure, you're educated, but still, the lifetime experiences of travelling around the world on your mum and dad's dime. Unbelievable.
So, I was getting all these postcards, hi, really sunburned on PP Beach. I'm like, whatever, I'm sitting here revising for my exams. So
Oh, you're
Okay, so-
educated
Annie.
and she's worldly.
Did the degree pay off? Like, are you now a much higher earning individual than your twin?
actually, no, well, I'm a teacher, so no.
And she married a prince that she met on her travels.
You're listening to Nathan, Nat and Sean.
Great news, everybody. We've got some royalty coming our way. Lady Julia Morris, if you don't mind, is bringing her to 75 years in the business to Perth. She'll be playing the Astor Theatre on June 10th. So tickets go on sale today. So check those out. Julia Morris, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you guys?
Hi, sweetheart.
Wonderful.
75 years.
Oh, well, you know it because you've been almost alongside me.
That's right. It certainly feels like it.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Started when you were 17, I've read. What were you doing back at 17?
That was my first appearance on telly with New Faces.
Wow.
Oh, wow. There you go.
Puppets? What was it?
Yeah, I didn't know. I don't come from a showbiz family. I didn't know how. I often get little DMs these days of people going, "Gosh, is there any help or advice you could give me? How do I start? I don't know how to start."
Oh, here we
No
go.
one knows how to start.
Yeah.
No one does.
Just
So
do
you
it is the
gotta-
answer, isn't it?
We're just pulling
Yeah,
up
so in
some
those days,
pictures of you.
This is kind of Idol almost. Idol vibes was the New Faces back in the day.
Yeah, yeah, it
Julia,
was.
and this is
Was.
controversial. It was puppetry of the vagina. I never even knew that was a thing.
Oh, look! I mean, as you get older, that's just a part of the course.
It's gravity.
I didn't know that's where I was headed, but no, absolutely.
Well, everybody
Lovely
needs a
try.
start in the business, and
Yeah,
that was
that's
it. Julia,
that's
with when you were starting off, you said that wasn't a thing in your family or whatever. But you don't sound like it. You've never been a shrinking violet. So were you always boisterous? And you got, this is it for me.
I think it just must have been a deep need for validation. Looking
Sure.
back,
Yeah.
I don't. No one really. I mean, nothing's changed. I was going to say, no one really thought of me as a performer. I didn't do singing classes, and I wasn't in a musical group. And it was when I came out of school that I joined the Gossip Musical Society, and I realised, oh my gosh, I think this is something
This
for
is
me. I did not, performing ignites something. You're either horrified by the thought of it, or you're drawn towards it. I don't think there's much middle ground there.
And you had a really huge resurgence in your career as well. Would the catalyst of that have been Celebrity Apprentice? And
I think, it was in Australia.
Yeah.
So, in actual fact, the resurgence was just Australia. Because at that time, I'd been working for 8 years in the UK and 2 years in the US. So, that resurgence was just coming back onto Australian TVs.
And that's amazing, isn't it? Because that's back when it rated Celebrity Apprentice.
Yes.
So it was like right place, right time. And then suddenly, we saw you, was it House Husbands?
House Husbands, where you're like a straight
you
acting
were cast
role.
there, and then you've been doing Celebrity, Get Me Out
Well,
of
that's
Here.
what I'd been doing in the US. I went back to drama school and I'd been, doing little bits and pieces of acting, and that was something that I had been wanting to add to my boat
the
for a
whole
long,
package,
long time.
Julia.
Yeah, complete.
I mean, I'm just happy working, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're a woman in showbiz. There's absolutely zero guarantees. So, every gig's your last gig in your mind, and you just keep chipping away.
Julia, have you said no to something? Like, has something come across your table and you go, nah? Because I feel like you're...
As in that I wouldn't do, so do some shows. Actually, the success of your career is determined on what you say no to.
Right.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
100%.
Yeah.
So in the early days, I would do anything. You want me to skydive over Rottnest? I'm going to do that. You want me to do that? Well, as you know, we've not long just had Telethon, which is always literally the best gig of the year for any performer. And back in my early days, you'd do anything, which these days, with all the online weirdness, just looks like desperation. It's not. You're just like, where's my window in? I'll do anything, please. I'm easygoing. Let's do it. And then as things do start to take off for you, so for me in Australia, again, that was Apprentice. And after that, it was definitely the things that I said no to that made the difference. It makes you, I don't know, I thought in the early days saying yes made me look like a good guy and a hard worker and that. No, it made me desperate. I didn't know that.
It made me look desperate.
So none of those, none of those ones you said no to that you've regretted, because a lot of people, you read heaps of people go, oh mate, I had this great role, as it turns out, and I said no to, but none of those would have worked out in your favour, Jules?
No, I don't think so. I think all the ones I've said no to are like, Australia's greatest celebrity headstand.
Did you get asked to do that horrible diving show? Remember that celebrity?
Oh, that was horrendous. Who was on that again?
I mean, who was on?
Exactly.
It just sounds like you're going to hurt yourself. I'm like, I can't afford to be off the road. So these days I'm very particular about what I say.
No ice skating for you.
Yeah. Hey, Julia, news just in, actually, online. Australia's greatest celebrity headstand's just been greenlit.
Yes.
I have absolutely no doubt, because there are so many, we've got 900 channels for every channel. So, I'm sure, and also, that's a yoga body. Does anyone really want to see yoga people doing a headstand? No. You want to see people who can't do it doing a headstand? Enter Lady J.
I'm telling you right now, that's a show next year. That will be a show next year.
Absolutely.
Mate, if Channel 10 will put the traitors on, that will be a show.
Everyone's getting ready. A lot of the time you don't know it's going to be that when you agree to do shows too. You don't know it's going to not be the absolute best thing you've ever done, because you're turning up doing your best work.
Yeah.
And it feels the same.
Oh.
Yeah.
With I'm a Celebrity, Julia, was that an easy one to just go into? And when you started filming it, do you get a vibe that it's going to work, or?
Yeah, I head high tackle that. Like, I wasn't mucking around.
Yeah.
I knew that was coming to Australia, and I really launched quite a campaign on the network to let me do it.
Yeah, right.
And I didn't rest until I got that job. And then when I found out Dr. Chris was doing it as well, I'm like, okay, well, now I'm 90 million times more motivated to get that job. Yeah, I knew I'd already watched it in the UK. I was already a huge fan of the format. So I just thought, surely this is going to take off. And you know what? It's been a bit of a slow grower, but it is now just more and more so. It's not just more reality television fighting. That's not really our show. And I don't think until people watch it, they don't really know that. Not that I'm giving it some worthy vibe, but, it's so much more. It's eating, animal testicles, and it's, having a spider on your face. It's
Yes.
so much more worthy, guys. Come
Yes.
on.
Yes,
No,
it
that's
is.
you
I love
make a
it.
great point.
Yeah, and not a
Julia,
headstand inside.
We love everything.
Yeah, well,
do.
you know I'm going to do one now.
I
coming up
know.
here.
Phil, man, send it to us, please.
Share the gift.
75 years in the business is the name of Julia's show. She'll be hitting the Astor Theatre on Saturday, June 10. Tickets from livenation.com.au from today. Lady JMO, thank you so much for talking to us.
It's the perfect Christmas present.
Isn't
Look,
it?
stuff me in your
It is.
stocking. I've
That's
said
a
it for
great
years.
point.
Can and
Thanks,
will do.
Julia.
Thanks, Jules.
Talk
I
soon.
love you
Bye,
guys.
Nathan, Nat and Sean in podcast form.
This morning, Sean is joining us from our Melbourne studios. Sean
Good morning,
McManus.
everybody. Yeah, over here for the Melbourne Cup. Actually, flew out yesterday, and interesting going to the airport yesterday because we had to all line up and drop our bags off, which is very unusual. I thought it was just everyone had the automated set, situation, but they don't. And anyway, so there's people in front of me, this couple, and the thing that I noticed about this lady straight away, she had a backpack on, and she had a massive French stick at the back of her
Like bread.
backpack.
You're talking about a
Like
baguette,
bread.
a gigantic
Yes.
Yeah, so it was almost like a foot above her head.
Yes.
It was that big.
Were you on
I
a
thought that was
budget airline
weird to
that
be
didn't
taking.
offer meal service? Is that what the situation?
Yeah, we were actually.
Yeah, right.
We
okay.
were. So I thought that was really weird. And then as they stepped up, her and her partner, to the front counter to get served, obviously everyone's just in a rush to be able to get in there.
Yes.
The partner was having an argument with the people, desperate to get a gas cylinder taken that he had in his backpack.
Gas cylinder for what?
Onto the I think they were travelling, so it must have been something he used for cooking.
Like one of
So-
those ones.
Like a little
Yeah.
gas.
Yep.
I'm sorry, did you step forward and say, I will not get on the flight if there is a gas cylinder on there?
Well, no, they were trying to talk to him like, no, this is not allowed.
Well,
As
it's
you
not.
can see, it's in the dangerous goods thing.
Sure,
you
yeah.
know that's a fact.
They don't even want you to take a lighter on board, let alone a gas
100%.
cylinder.
So his thing was, once he kept me going, no, we desperately need this. We're travelling. What I will do, can I put this on and not take it on as carry-on? I'll just put it on. You can put it under the plate.
Near
you
the
can put it with
engine?
the Yes. That was... He was trying to talk them into it the whole way through.
You can, how about this? We can get a rope, you can tie it from the wing and it'll just fly outside. That's where it can go.
Some people are weird with the way they want to put stuff. I couldn't believe the lady had the French stick was very funny
Yes.
at the time. But to see a guy
The
trying
French
to talk
stick
his
was a
way
decoy.
to have a gas cylinder put on the plane,
I mean,
Nathan.
when there's a picture of a gas cylinder as the you cannot fly with this, then there's no argument.
Oh.
You can't, there's no grey area.
So, Sean, did you step forward with your giant machete and go, I guess this isn't going to make the cut, is it?
Exactly.
He got his knitting needles through, though, so it's fine.
Well, that bloody
Yeah.
tourist here in Perth that tried to get through customs, and we see it on border security all the time.
Yes.
6 kilos of meat he tried to get through. He had 3.1 kilos of duck.
That's a lot of duck.
1.4 kilos of beef. He had 500 grams of frozen beef and then 900 grams of chicken. Like, what are you
That's a
doing?
rendang.
You know what? He needed to hook up with the chick with the French stick.
Yeah. And also, of course, if they had the gas, they'd be able to cook it.
Yeah,
They'll be able to
exactly.
like,
Wouldn't be a
cook a
problem.
really nice toasted panini.
I mean, really, the airline should just offer meal service and we wouldn't have this problem.
This is a podcast of Nathan, Nat and Sean.
Sometimes when you try to travel, you've got something that is not allowed and you think, oh, damn it, I've got to give that up. I was travelling to Sydney and with me were in the same flight were a bunch of WA women's cricket players. But we're on that flight it's a domestic flight, but it's on an international flight number. And so international rules apply. And these girls had to give up their bottles of Perinaise that they had, that they always travel with. They had Perinaise and several jars of spices and seasoning that they take everywhere with them.
Wow.
I do love
They were
Perinaise.
devoted about the Perinaise.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's delicious.
Gary's in Rockingham. Hey, Gary.
Hey, how you going,
Good
guys?
buddy. Hey,
Hey,
mate,
good,
we're
Gary.
talking about the weird things people attempt to travel with. What do you got for us?
Oh, we've taken a few strange things over the times, but one of the best ones was a full-size trampoline that we took over to Bali with us.
What?
Hang on, why, Gary?
Gary,
Why?
what?
For the kids.
For the kids, for our friends in Bali, yeah, so it's very hard to get trampolines over there, so we decided to take one over.
Okay, Gary. Thank God it's a present.
How?
Okay, I'm going to let it pass as a present because I thought you took it over for the kids.
For your
assembled
kids.
it. Your kids bounced on it while they're there. You took it apart and took it home. I thought this was the sisterhood of the travelling trampoline.
Mate, they're the hardest things to put together in a million. They're the worst things to put together. Gary, what? So how did you get it over there? How were you able to get it through?
Yeah, so we took like 2 or 3 large suitcases and I just broke it down in small pieces. The problem was when we got there, we got checked by customs. They thought it was some strange sort of, bazooka or some sort of weapon or something like that,
Gary.
Wow. And I never knew trampolines were hard to get in Bali.
I know. Why is it?
Well, there you
That's
go.
what we can do. We can run a trampoline importing business.
But
so
then
we can
again,
make
Gary,
lots of money
thinking
in
about
Bali.
it, I don't think I'd want to buy a Balinese trampoline.
You're not wrong, Nath.
No, we sell them good Australian trampolines.
Yeah,
That's what we do.
No, I'm saying.
This is how we're going to make a fortune.
No, I'm saying that's why I understand why they're not for sale over there, because I don't think I'd trust it.
Thanks, Gary.
One bounce, yeah, you'd be off.
Cassie's in Rolling Stone. Hello.
Hello.
Hey,
All right,
Cassie.
Cass. What did you travel
Hey, Cass.
with?
We were in LAX and my husband's eyes nearly fell out of his head as an old grandpa type guy walked past with a marijuana plant in a pot. The pot was covered. It was covered in a plastic bag and he's just trotting through like it was normal.
Did he
I thought,
know?
we can't even travel with a banana and he's got a marijuana plant.
I mean, you make a great point, Cass.
Okay, so it's legal over there, yes?
It must be, but with a whole... It was in the soil and everything. It was just mind-blowing.
I
Like
mean,
a bonsai tree.
where do you put it? Like, he wouldn't be allowed to sit with it on his lap.
So if you're legally allowed to have it...
Yeah, I know, but like flying with it, do you
So
have to
if
squash it into the overhead?
Well, maybe not, because maybe you can, and then you can just...
Put it, maybe
you can't.
yeah.
You can't have your iPad on your lap.
I know, but maybe you can put it. But you can
When
put it
you
in the
take
pouch.
off.
You can put it in the pouch in front of you.
It was
so
a big
it's
pot. It
it's
was a big pot.
Where do you
Yeah, he
put
had
a
it under
big
his
pot?
wing. Yeah, the plant was about
Maybe he bought
foot
an
and a half
extra
high.
seat for it.
Maybe he bought an extra seat for. Maybe it's his companion plant.
His emotional support marijuana plant. I'm sure it is.
like
in its
people like
way.
It is a
pigs and
companion
ducks.
plant.
Thanks, Cassie. Sam, hello.
Yeah, hi. How you going, guys?
Good, Sam.
Good, Sam.
What have you got for us?
I was on a flight heading from Darwin back down to Perth for a friend's hens, and I'd made a paper mache penis pinata for the hens' night that was stuffed with goodies and little bottle poppers that explode confetti and stuff. It went through the X-ray machine, and I was told that I had explosives contained within it. I had to make a hole and remove all these various condoms.
Oh,
And,
there should have been a hole at the top, really, shouldn't there have been?
I had to sit on the flight with it on my lap because it couldn't fit in the overhead, and it was sitting on my lap for the whole 3-hour flight or what it was, with my head leaning on it, and the paint had come off, and when I got off the flight, my whole forehead was bright pink.
Sam, you see, that entire thing could have been avoided because that, of course, went into the cockpit. Didn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's writing itself, isn't it?
Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
Time to catch up with an absolute superstar. That is Michelle Payne. Of course, she took out the 2015 Melbourne Cup, the only female jockey to ever do so. She has had movies written about her. She's that good, and she joins us this morning. Hi, Michelle.
Good morning.
Hey, Michelle.
It must feel, is this like Christmas Eve for you, Michelle?
Yeah, I've been all about the happy Cup Eve to everybody, and it's, oh God, it's so exciting.
Have you got a
Yeah, it is.
wetsuit to wear on
Yes.
Melbourne Cup Day?
Not great weather.
No, it doesn't look like it's going to be good, but banking on the fact that they get the weather so wrong a lot of the time that hopefully they have this time and it's not going to be as bad as they say.
Oh, you're an optimist.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like that. Yeah.
Hey, Michelle, one thing sometimes people get probably sick of getting asked the same questions over and over, but when you've won the Melbourne Cup, I would think you probably don't feel that. Oh, here we go again. Take us through the race, all those questions. It must be such a moment of pride still after all these years.
Oh, it is. And, you know, every time we get closer to the race like today and you're going through the field and you're trying to find the winner, you just think how lucky to win a great race. You know how hard it is. You know every horse is there thinking and hoping and dreaming to win the race. So, yeah, it still makes me shake my head in disbelief that we were the lucky ones that year in 2015. But, yeah, luck fell our way and, you know, it felt like it was just a bit meant to be.
How many people hit you up for tips, Michelle, around this time?
Oh, look, it's. I say to them, look, you're probably better off just picking a number. It can throw up anyone. I've changed my mind about 15 times going through the field and trying to pick the winner because everybody's in the race thinking they can win it. They're not there for fun. And there's so many different scenarios and things that could
change as the day goes on with the weather and the wind and where, horse's position in the run. One could just miss the start like we did on Prince of Penzance, but he was lucky enough to hold his spot. So it just, so many factors come into play, and that's why it makes it so hard to find the winner, but I think that's why it also makes it so good at the same time.
But when you say that to people, Michelle, people don't believe it.
No.
People go, no, come on. She's a Melbourne Cup champion. She knows something, and they just wouldn't let that go.
No.
It's like people think Sean's tips hold weight, and they don't.
Oh no, he's got no idea.
I do a lot of homework, and I find a lot of losers. Michelle, one thing we're getting to, you're obviously coming up to the big day tomorrow and all that kind of stuff. Can you talk us through the last 300 or 400 metres when you were riding in the Melbourne Cup and you were able to feel like, oh my God, I am all over this race. I've got every chance under the sun when you're on Prince of Penzance?
It gives me just goosebumps even thinking about it and taking me back to that moment. But I think I just was floating on air. I don't even think he had to carry me the last 200 metres or 300 metres. I was so excited. I was thinking, is this actually happening? I'm about to win the Melbourne Cup, and I swear to you, I was floating on him the last furlong. It was just an incredible feeling of all of those years of dreaming of being good enough to ride in the Melbourne Cup and getting the opportunity, and then here we were about to win it. It was just the most surreal moment, and it's literally the hairs are standing up on my arms and legs because it's so, it's so hard to believe that we were able to win it. And when I crossed that finishing line, I just shook my head and was so grateful and relieved because a lot of pressure is on you, so much money goes into these horses, and to just get into the race is hard, let alone to win it. So that feeling of relief of getting the job done for the owners and the trainer Darren Weir and all the staff behind the scenes, everybody worked so hard. It was so good, such a great feeling.
Now, Michelle, the obvious next question is the whole country wants to know, how's Steve, your brother? Stevie, how's he going?
Yeah, he's good. I'm actually watching him right now. He's at the stables. He's the most integral part of my team trading. Yeah. He's there every day. He's the ultimate professional, but he just loves the limelight. He playing himself in the movie was probably, just one of the best things for us to see, but he just absolutely lapped it up as he did on Melbourne Cup Day when we walked back in up that famous race after winning. I had to actually lean down and grab him to say well done, and we'd just won the Melbourne Cup because he was so excited he forgot about me, but it was
it was an enduring image.
It's
beautiful.
But think about it though, I don't think there's been many scenarios where someone has played themselves in a movie except for like a cameo appearance.
Yeah,
for
sure.
Exactly.
For sure.
Like, that's actually mind blowing in itself.
And he did a good job.
He did a great job.
So good.
Hey, Michelle, I know that you've been to so many race meets. A question I need to know is how many little fascinators and hats do you have in the cupboard, or do you chuck them out straight away?
I don't chuck them out. No, look, a lot of them I'm gifted to these days, but I certainly have my nice little selection at home, which I treasure because it's so fun to be able to get dressed up. So many years I spent just slaving away, trying to be the best jockey I could be and get the opportunities, and to be able to enjoy the other side now, which is the fashions and getting all dolled up, which as a jockey it's pretty it's pretty rough out there. You're in the mud and the rain and you're working with animals, so to see that other side of it and to get all glammed up is so much fun, and I love that.
What is the rule of a fascinator? How many times can you wear one before you have to retire it, especially being a public figure? I'm interested.
The thing is, you just don't put too many photos up. Then you can get away with it.
Smart move. And I guess if you wear it to Flemington, you could sneak it to Randwick the next year, right?
I would think so.
Well, I was just thinking back because I wore one of mine to the Doncaster a few years ago. Then I wore it just the other day at the Cox Plate, and it looked like a fresh, brand new one, but nobody picked up that it's the same one. So
there you go.
So they're spread apart a bit and different outfits can make it look a bit different.
Okay.
So.
Good to know.
There you go, girls.
It is good. Well, Michelle, obviously we can see all the action on Channel 10, and there's a great team assembled to be able to call and give us insights of what's going on, which is awesome too.
Oh, yeah, it's such a great team. I'm loving working with the Channel 10 team, and Eddie Maguire, he's just hilarious. He's so fun, but he's positive, and he really helps you get confident to go out there and to just, do what you do. I love working with Eddie, and Francesca's over. She's obviously amazing at what she does. She definitely brings the glamour and so much insight with the Europeans as well. And Michael Felgate, I worked with him last year. He's so good.
Yep.
He's just always on the ball, never makes a mistake. And David Gately, who does all the forms. It's a really good team, and I'm loving doing the bouncing yard, which is, my area of expertise, being able to see them in the final stages before they go out onto the track. It's such a good way to know if they're ready, or, there's some things that can really put you off, and to bring that information to the people at home, I think it's really priceless. So I'm loving that side of things, and also have a ride tomorrow on one of my own horses if he ends up running, depending on the weather. He doesn't like it too wet, but he's in the race before the Melbourne Cup, a horse called Pondus, and going really well, so definitely a horse to keep an eye out, because if he does run, I think he'll run a cheeky race at a bit of odds.
Okay, fantastic too. And if you get it wrong, do you give yourself a good talking to about what happened to afterwards?
Oh, yeah, don't worry. You get a big talking to after that.
Good on you, Michelle.
The Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
It's a bit of fun getting a present, isn't it, guys?
Always.
I'd love
we
to
love
get a
presents.
present.
Yeah, a bit of
We
paper.
used to get a heap of stuff here. We don't get nearly as much. It's
Never
clamped down
comes
a
in
bit.
anymore.
I
Remember
know.
when Australian Idol came out and they sent us a karaoke machine?
Yes. We
Well, you just got a karaoke machine.
Jamie Oliver cookware.
Yeah.
it's just be the
Remember
best.
when then I started with you guys and everything went downhill?
Everything dried up.
exactly what
Sean.
happened.
And did I apologise?
Yeah, not
Trips
too
to
good.
Broome.
Oh, Broome. We went to Broome to see 15 minutes of what I think was Channel 7 had
Yes.
to offer for their viewing for the year.
Correct.
It's
For
a
15
sizzle
we
film.
got flown to Broome for 2 days for a 15-minute clip.
Now it's a Zoom link.
Unbelievable. Well, at least when we got given gifts, there wasn't a lot of paperwork
No,
attached.
that's right. Nobody cared.
Yeah, the WA politicians, their gift registers have been revealed.
Yes.
So
'Cause
when
we
they
need
get
to know
given
who's
a
trying to
gift,
buy them
They
off.
have to publicly declare what they've gotten and where
Okay.
it's gone. So Alana McTiernan received the most alcohol.
Okay.
She copped 17 bottles of Plonk. That's pretty good, isn't it?
That's not
Over
that
a
many,
year.
though. That's not many.
But she got the most out of everyone.
Yeah.
Thanks to
Yep.
people and businesses in the agriculture and wine sectors. Which
Sure,
is where
of
she
course.
works.
That makes sense.
Kilograms of fruit were sent to her office, including grapes, oranges, and 12 kilograms of WA's delicious Bravo apples. So she got.
12 kilos. That's a lot of apples.
That's a lot of apple
She
pie.
had to declare 12 kilos of apples. So funny. If it's over $300, they have to declare it.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Deputy Premier Roger Cook. He also got booze. He didn't get as much as Alana, but he got the best quality. He got, among his 12 bottles of gifted wine, was his favourite Penfolds Grange.
Oh, his favourite.
Oh,
Listen to him.
of course.
It's discerning.
He got a 2017 Grange Bin 95 anniversary edition. It retails between $850 to $950 online.
Nice.
He liked it so much that he kept the gift and then paid the extra $550 so he could have it.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so
It's not-
the
it's not easy-
$300
It's not easy to get.
Yeah,
Yeah.
$300. You can pay the difference to keep it.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah?
That's a good idea.
Yep. He also got a large hamper from the Sri Lankan consulate containing foodstuffs, including biscuits, jars of olives, jams, chocolate, pasta, truffles, and then they declared there was
Hey,
no
Hang on,
there was-
wait.
How did that get through
So
quarantine?
it's the Sri Lankan consulate, and they send him pasta and truffles.
Yeah.
Why are
And-
they sending him spices and things?
Yeah.
That
And
makes no sense.
and they went on to say, and they specifically said there's no wine was found in this hamper. So it must have really been searching. Mark McGowan, our Premier.
Yes.
Surely he gets plied with gifts.
He got more than 100 gifts last financial year. He got 3 tickets to the Legally Blonde musical. He got 2 shirts referencing his famous pandemic line about running while eating a kebab.
Yes.
So he had to declare
Yeah.
that.
Hang on, how many? 2, did you
2,
say?
yep.
What? So they retail at $150 each?
Must be.
Seriously.
A signed CD by great southern band, the Albany Shantymen.
Yes.
And 5
Hang on,
kilograms.
there's no way that's $300.
No, that's not $300.
And 5 kilograms of Kalis Brothers frozen prawns.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, he also got a cartoon drawn by Dean Alston and a glass ornament of a flower.
Did I mention, when did you give him your
What do you
painting
about your
made with a
painting?
pie?
I didn't say a mince pie painting. Didn't say that, actually, but that's priceless. Mia Davies, opposition leader.
Yes.
She
Yes.
got AFL Grand Final tickets,
Nice.
State of Origin tickets, and also she got a Qantas Chairman's Lounge membership.
Oh.
Plus,
Ooh.
from the Australian Hotels Association, she got 15 bottles of sanitizer.
Well, you can drink that when you're in a, bit of a pickle.
But don't.
Yeah. But let's go to Liberal leader David Honey. Oh, how the Liberals have fallen. His only declared gift last financial year was the pictorial history of China since communism.
Can't drink
Chinese
that.
Consul General Long Dingbing.
Long what?
What? Long Dingbing.
That's his name, Sean.
Long Dingbing.
That's very funny.
He just got a book.
He got a book.
He got
and
a
everybody
book.
else
Well,
is
when
getting
the
like
Liberals in
Grange
WA
Heritage.
were power players.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Now you
And that's
just
why
send
he's getting
them a book.
replaced.
Yeah.
Now you just
No
send
one
them a
likes
With
him.
who?
No one wants to deal with
Who's
him.
There's only two
Is
of
it-
them to pick from.
Livy Madams. Yeah, she's up. Step in, maybe with some
If she
gifts.
doesn't get the gong, you'd be dirty, wouldn't you? All right, so we know how to buy the favour of a politician now, not with a book about Chinese history.
This is Nathan, Nat and Sean.
Oh, it's great to have Ryan Campbell in the studio. Of course, he was the original sports caster. Actually, it was
Not
Goss
quite.
first,
Yeah,
then
Tim.
Ryan
Yeah,
Campbell.
that's right.
Yep.
And
And then
you,
Cambo handballed it to me, and I haven't left. And while I haven't left, Cambo's been around the world coaching cricket teams and living an unbelievable life. Good morning, Cambo.
Hey, thanks for having me back, guys. It's weird being here. Deja vu.
Yeah.
Cambo, let's talk about how much you love the early morning starts.
That's one thing I don't miss. But now I've got two kids. I'm up that early anyway. So
That's
it's-
irony,
And
isn't
you
it?
guys are like number one now. What's in the world's going on?
Mate, took 20 years.
Yep. And that's with Sean, so imagine.
Your career, as we've always just been following what you're doing and just been amazed. Because you left for IPL, didn't you?
No, IPA.
IPA.
Yeah, it was the ICL, I think.
ICL.
Dodgy
ICL.
little Indian
Yeah,
places.
yeah. So it's like the waffle of the
Yeah,
of the
pretty
Indian
much.
cricket, essentially, wasn't it?
It was all about the cash.
Yeah,
Let's be honest.
I remember you coming to me and saying, "Have you ever heard of a place called Ahmedabad?" I'm like, no one has.
Either have I. But I found out it's the only province in India that you're not allowed to drink.
That was a
Oh, wow, you
stitch-up,
found out.
wasn't
That's
That was such a stitch up. Horrible.
So you left
And then
for
you went-
that. Yeah, and then what happened
Yeah,
after that?
so Hong Kong. Went there for
Hong
5
Kong.
years, coaching up there, and then got drafted into the Dutch. And so I've been living in Europe for the last 5.5 years. I've got a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old who speak fluent Dutch, which freaks me out.
Yes,
Because I
because they can talk about you
Yes.
behind your back.
Yes, they
Yeah,
can.
that's hard.
And they've just discovered that they can do
Yeah,
that.
right.
Hey,
So that
When they speak English, what's their actual accent?
Their accent is actually English.
Is Pommy.
Her mum has got a very nice English accent.
Yeah.
And they picked it up. And despite all my efforts to be
Yes.
as ochre as possible around
I know,
them.
because you haven't lost your accent at all.
Not at all. Not at all. So, and they've even tell me that their Dutch accent is the posh Harlem accent. Which
right.
is
So they're
what everyone
fancy
wants.
Dutch.
Yeah, they are fancy, apparently.
Wow, that's
That's-
amazing.
So Cambo, as the guys are saying, so you went to Hong Kong, you were coaching cricket there, you were really successful at it. So how did the Dutch thing come about and then open up to Europe and all the cricket that's been going on over there and developing?
Yeah, obviously the Hong Kong had played the Netherlands quite a bit, and so they knew how well Hong Kong were going, and the Dutch were desperately in needing a new coach. And they felt they wanted someone who could take them to the next level. They we won and got into the Super League, so we've been playing all the big boys in world cricket. Luckily, they said that was me to take them forward. I don't know why, they're bloody stupid. But,
Well, hang on,
it's
you
been
got them
great.
into the Super 12 in this.
You did?
Yeah, mate, we've been going pretty well, and look, like anything, I hope that I'm stepping down obviously at the end of this World Cup, but if you start something, you got to leave it in a better spot than when you start.
And you've absolutely done that.
I think that
Yeah.
so I'm very proud of what we've achieved, and I walk away with head held high.
Yeah, well done.
Hey, I want to talk about is Harlem that you live in.
Yeah,
Is that
Harlem,
right.
yeah.
Tell us about Harlem and what it's like.
It's a beautiful, old, ancient European town. It's got a massive, what they call the Grotemarkt, which is a beautiful old church, which is the centre of the whole town.
Oh, wow.
And everything literally works around it. And it's, it's just a beautiful place, a great place to bring up kids. And we
Tell them about your kids' school.
So it's up the road. They walk to school every morning, and literally they know every kid, every person that lives in Harlem seems to go to that school in our area. So it's a great place for them to. And they go playing, and I get a WhatsApp from some parent. Oh, mate, by the way, Jake's at my house. I'll send him home. I'll send him home when you want. It's like,
And
cool.
I mean, obviously, what we think of the Netherlands is just everybody eats cheese and rides bikes. accurate?
Yeah, very much so.
With a joint in their mouth.
So. Yeah, that too. I made the mistake in one of my first weeks there. I walked into a coffee shop wanting a coffee, and apparently it's not coffee.
Hilarious, Campbell, you poor naive little thing.
But yeah, it's a wonderful place.
How many cricket pitches do they have around the place? Because it's not a place that's normally noted for playing cricket. I know you're developing at the moment, but I would think you wouldn't have many ovals like that.
There's actually quite a lot of clubs with lots of history, but the only problem is we only have 7 turf wickets in the whole of the country.
Yeah, right.
And that's where it's tough because all these young kids have been brought up playing on a mat, basically, and it's so foreign when they get on turf facilities.
Yeah.
So, that's the tough thing. For instance, we played the West Indies, and Alfonso Joseph or whatever bowls 150 kilometres an hour. Some of our kids were playing on a mat facing about 12 kilometres an hour on the Saturday, and then they have to face out on the Tuesday.
Slightly
and they're screaming
terrifying.
and ducking.
And as you saw with Buster Lady yesterday, some things happen.
So there's a great picture in the paper today of your all-rounder with a massive cut under his eye. So he got hit by a short delivery that just went straight up into the grill of his helmet.
Yeah, it was just, the facts are this Perth Arena wicket is the fastest and bounciest in the world. And mate, we're not used to that. And they had 4 blokes bowling over 140 kilometres an hour. And I'm trying to tell everyone, mate, it's the greatest place to bat. You'll have a great time. After the game, everyone's looking at me going, you're an idiot.
Now, I remember when you played and a shot. You were the first one to do the ramp shot, right? That is now played all the time in T20. They bring that out all the time, especially in the BBL.
Yeah.
You were the first in the world to do it, right?
I'd like to say that, but apparently Dilshan got paid $1 million on a Pepsi ad saying that he did it. It was like, give us a break, mate. Give us 10% at least.
But you don't need that, though. You've got niche living money.
That's right. Why did you first play that? Why did you think this is going to be a good idea?
Okay, because Darren Berry was wicket keeping up at the stumps, and I knew that if someone bowled it full, I could get under it and ramp it and hit it straight into his face because he's an absolute knob. And I thought that was...
What a great motivation.
Yeah, that was the motivation. And it kept working. I thought to myself, geez, I'm onto something here. And away I went.
Revolutionised the game. What a legacy. Amazing.
The Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
We're here with Ryan Campbell, who, of course, used to work for us back in the day.
Then he escaped.
And had a life.
And he's been travelling all over the world and now lives on the set of Harry Potter.
in the Netherlands. But you're about to finish up with the Netherlands cricket team.
I am. It's been a good run.
Yeah.
It's been a good run, but ready to go somewhere new.
Well, the reason that, you hit the headlines not so long ago was because you practically died.
I did, 15 times apparently over the course of 2 or 3 days. But I figure I lasted 2 years with you guys. Surely a little cardiac arrest won't stop.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's unbelievable because you were fit and healthy. Yep. And are fit and healthy. So we all saw it on the news. Everyone was absolutely shocked. People were throwing around heart attack. It wasn't a heart attack.
No, it was a cardiac arrest. Look, I can't explain it. The doctors who I was so lucky, you talk about sliding door moments. When I collapsed, I put my head on a 5-year-old whose mother happened to have just finished the CPR course.
Extraordinary.
And she brought me back.
That's fate, isn't it, really?
She brought me back. She kept me going until the medicos got there. They flew me to one of the great cardiac hospitals in
So
England.
you were in England at the time, weren't you? Yeah.
But I have no memory of those 7 days. Yeah. So everyone says, mate, it must have been... I don't know. I went to sleep for 7 days, but obviously my wife went through hell and my family and stuff. But all I can say is to everyone, please... get checked just in case. And also, if you can do a CPR course,
absolutely.
You just never know when you can help someone.
Exactly.
Campbell, if you were to get... sorry, Sean, go.
I was going to say, what was the feeling beforehand? You said you don't remember anything really afterwards. And what, did you feel that something wasn't right before?
No. I literally had been in New Zealand with the team. I'd come home to Perth for a holiday. Mate, I felt great. I was probably a little bit overweight because I've been drinking so much back in Perth. But in all honesty... there was no warning signs. There was no nothing. It was
no chest pain, no breathlessness, nothing.
And like I say, as a coach, I'm pretty fit and active.
Yeah, of course.
And always moving and stuff. But I literally just put my head down and woke up 7 days later and didn't know what had happened.
So if you were to have gotten checked beforehand, would they have found something?
Well, they probably wouldn't have, because like my cardiac surgeon said, mate, your heart is in such a good shape. We
It's
just
so
don't
weird,
understand.
isn't it?
Look, again, I know there's a lot of conspiracy theorists out there and stuff, but there is getting to be more of a link with having COVID and issues between 40 and 50-year-old people. And so that could have been the case. But look, all I can say is I'm very grateful to still be here. Obviously hug my kids a little bit harder during the day, and then coming home to seeing you guys, giving you guys a hug. It's a wonderful feeling, because people who are hugging me are actually, oh my God, I'm great to see you.
That's right.
Hi, how you doing?
That's right.
You're alive.
And you've now got a built-in defib in your chest?
I have. It's just a little box, and my daughter Emily, who was unfortunately, I was holding her hand when it happened.
That must have been so scary for the kids.
Definitely. But she touches it every now and again, and that's her insurance policy. Daddy's like, when's Mummy going to get one? She asks it very often. But look, it's just something there that's, like I say, just an insurance policy.
So what did that do, though? What did that box do?
Well, it basically keeps a check on me, and if ever I went out of rhythm or my heart started going weird, it would give me a almighty electric shock. So don't hold my hand.
Say if you're on a ride and you're getting a little bit.
Well, it has to go pretty out of sync sort of thing. It's not just going to...
Okay, so is no one allowed to scare you at home? Like, rah!
Yeah. Well, the weird thing is, I've actually got an app on my phone which tracks my heart and sends it to the hospital every day. So if there was something going on with me, my...
Yes, they would get in touch
first,
with you.
And they would, Obviously, I hide it from my wife, because she thinks if she starts messing with it, if I'm being naughty, she can really
give you a little
me around. A little jab.
Hey, Campbell, is there any things you can't do because of what happened?
Well, I honestly, the first question I asked my doctor was, could I have a little creature's beer when I get out of here?
Sure.
And in his Welsh thing, he said, mate, I didn't save your life so you become a boring prick, which was nice of him. So... everything is in moderation. Look, I ride every morning with the kids. I walk, I'm active. I drink, I eat what I want. Obviously, I'm a bit mindful of, I avoid as many coffees as I can for instance. Haven't had a Red Bull for 6 months.
That's probably for the best.
Nothing wrong. I love my Red Bull. I love it, but I better keep away from that sort of stuff. But apart from that, everything's all go.
I want to know, because the box that, the defib, you can see it in your chest, like when you got your shirt off. Airport security, what happens?
Yeah, I've got a card that I can avoid. The electromagnetic one, I'm not allowed to go in. The actual metal detectors, there's a bit of a beep every now and again, but I just...
have a look at this.
Yeah, because if you ever see a movie where someone's had a bomb sewed into them, that's what it looks like.
I try not to show people, but anyway.
I mean, it's literally a life-saving device. It's incredible, isn't it?
Mate, the amazing technology that we have today is like I say, it's
and that 20 years ago, somebody in your situation wouldn't have made it. And the work that they do is incredible.
Extremely lucky, extremely gracious, and love catching up with old friends.
Yeah, seizing life with two hands now. Amazing.
Smile on my face still.
Right, so we can't wait to see what you do next. So that's a bit of a mystery at this stage.
Me too.
You're heading to Adelaide now, aren't you?
Yeah, so we take on Zimbabwe and then South Africa, and then back to the Netherlands we go.
Back to Harry Potter.
What a career.
Until the next job comes along.
Yeah,
something like that. Fingers crossed, Nat. Fingers crossed.
There's so many options now.
I'm sure.
Now that you're in Europe, there's so many options, so many more countries who are being involved in top-level cricket.
Yeah.
And you're just the man to take them there.
Thanks, mate.
I'll tell you who needs a good coach, judging by the results, the West Indies. Would you move to Barbados?
Yes.
Oh, they could get me, that's for sure.
You know what? We should do it. We give away so many great trips. We should literally just have an ongoing competition, go holiday where Cambo lives.
You go and stay with Cambo.
Cambo's Airbnb.
Does that mean they have to babysit my kids?
That'd be great.
Part of the deal.
Thanks for coming in, buddy. It's
great
good to see you again. Well done.
Nathan, Nat and Sean is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au.